Welcome back to Blue Zone Brief, the podcast where health, wellness, and entrepreneurship meet the real stories behind building something meaningful. I'm your host, Jens Stanovnik. Today's guest is Sharon Chamberlin, founder of Catalyst for Fitness and creator of a premium supplement and protein bar brand built around transparency and high quality nutrition. Sharon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. Sharon, I will be very short. We have limited time, and I will ask you a few questions. First one, I would say you spent about 20 years in the corporate world before moving into the fitness industry. What triggered that change?
Well, I enjoyed at that time, I enjoyed my job. I was told I was good at it. I liked it. That was my thing. That was my lane. And one day I woke up and I didn't like it anymore. And I realized that things were changing that I didn't necessarily agree with. And I was becoming a person that I didn't want to be. And I thought, wow, I can't do this for another 30 years. Like, this is not
Mhm.
good for me personally or professionally. So I was talking with a friend of mine who was in the same industry as I was in, but she worked for a different company, but the same industry. Her name is Christy. And I was telling her my woes, and she said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I have no idea." And she said, "Well, you should become a personal trainer." I said, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard." She knew I was active, but I thought that's just dumb. And then I realized when I thought after we parted ways and I was at home, I realized that I wasn't against being a personal trainer per se. I had never thought about it actually, but I didn't want to work for anyone else. I wanted to set the policies. I wanted to set the procedures. I wanted to run a company the way that I thought it should be run. And a trainer, a nutritionist in, I started selling my own supplements and a protein bar. And that was 15 years ago.
Great, great. And when did you first realize that creating your own product might be the next step for your business? It's like,
I was working with clients and I was working with men and women, and most of it was in person at the time. I had some online clients, and online at that time was different than it is now. This was before COVID. So I had in-person clients and online. After COVID, we also went virtual. But so anyway, at the time, um, while I was talking with my clients, I was working hard to become their trusted advisor. I may
Mhm.
not have the answer to everything, but there were certain things that I wanted to make sure that I could help them um, to meet their goals, whatever their goals were, whether it's weight loss or building muscle, whatever it was. The overall goal and what I like have built my brand on, my company on, is helping people find a way to build and sustain a healthy lifestyle. Part of that is fitness, part of it is nutrition. And I was spending a lot of time looking at other companies' protein bars and trying to find the best ones that were out there. And there, it was really hard. The ones that I was recommending and even reselling weren't what I would make when I made my own at home. Um, but they were the best that were out there. And my clients wanted portability and ease of use and all of that. And the same with was how I was reselling supplements. There was a company that I still think very highly of. I still have a very good relationship with them, and I was reselling their supplements. And a few years in, I thought, well, why am I spending all this time kind of working for someone else when maybe I can come up with something better? So I researched and
Yeah.
vetted. I attacked supplements first. I researched and vetted many companies around the country, talked to many, many people, learned a whole lot more than I thought I knew a little bit. I didn't know nearly as much as I thought I did. I learned an incredible amount, found a company that I had a similar philosophy to.
Yes.
And not only from a product standpoint, how the products are made, where the ingredients come from, but also from a business model standpoint. Like I like both parts of it because as a business owner, I'm looking for my clients and then I'm looking for me as a business. So I partnered with them and I've been with them for a few years now. And after I did that, I thought, wow, that was fun. Like what else can I do? And that's when the protein bars came in. And my protein bar manufacturer is not the same as my supplement manufacturer. The supplement company is really good at supplements. The protein bar company is really good at protein bars. And that's
Mhm.
how it came to be.
Now, the supplement protein bar is extremely crowded, but of course there is also a supplement market crowded. What do you think most companies get wrong uh, with these uh, protein bars?
I think I think consumers want to make most consumers want to make smart decisions, right?
Mhm.
And what protein bar companies do, I'm not saying everyone, I'm not calling anyone out. In general, in my opinion, as a consumer and also as a business owner who now has a protein bar, under my umbrella, I think what a lot of companies do, especially the larger ones, they look at the bottom line. Not that I don't look at the bottom line, but they look at the bottom line and that drives almost everything that they do. So
Mhm.
when I went to supplement or protein bar companies and when I was talking with them, I went in with it wasn't the attitude, it was a presentation of I knew what macros I wanted. I knew what features and benefits of the protein bar that I wanted. So for instance, I said I want at least 20 grams of whey protein isolate. So I was specific in the type of protein and the amount because not all proteins are equal.
Yes.
Consumers don't necessarily know that. They see something that says high protein, they don't even know I'm not saying that they're not smart. It's because no one has educated them properly. They're getting information from either sources who are lying or who are misleading, or it's just from general marketing. And that's where these large companies who are looking at the bottom line say, well, we need to sell more. We need to sell more. We need to sell more. Well, I do too, or I want to, because I can't compete with the huge companies. Their project, they make most likely some of the larger companies, they spend more in marketing in a month than probably I make in revenue a year. I mean, these are huge companies, right?
Yes.
I'm bootstrapping it, trying to help consumers eat better. So anyway, so I went to the supplement company or the protein bar company and I said, I want 20 grams of whey protein isolate. I want it to be high fiber. So we agreed on 12 grams. 12 grams is about half of the RDA for a woman and about a third for a man. So right there, anyone who eats my bar is going to get a whole lot more fiber than most Americans do in a given day.
Yes. Yes.
I said I
Now,
didn't want any more than 5 grams of sugar. And the bar is 270 calories, so it's a big bar. It's not like it's a little bar with 5 grams of sugar. I didn't want any sugar alcohols. I didn't want it to melt. I didn't want it to, all sorts of other things. And then I said, hey, and I want it to taste good. And so there was a lot of thought, consumer related thought behind it, as opposed to a company saying, well, let's just make something, we're going to mass produce it, and we'll just change the flavors. And then every so many months, we can come out with a new flavor.
I see. I see. Now, what do you think that the supplement protein bar makes? Is, it is crowded, but why do consumers often struggle to identify generally healthy products? I mean, consumers, that's my opinion, they often struggle to identify these generally healthy products. when you come with some gas stations or in the store and you see a lot of bars down there.
Yeah.
I mean, people are struggling to get what is that what they really need, and usually they look for something healthy.
Yeah, a lot of it is fancy marketing. If something says high protein, someone will be like, "Oh, hey, I'm getting more protein." Well, they
Hmm.
may not realize that along with those 2 extra grams of protein, they're getting 8 grams of sugar, or or the ingredients are really low quality. In addition to that, brand recognition is huge. I see commercials like TV commercials in addition to online
Yes.
influencers and creators, but I see a lot of TV commercials, and I don't even watch that much TV, but I see the same commercials. It seems like they're on every station. I don't know if that's really true,
Yeah.
but they're just throwing money at it, and it's through brand recognition. And I think they believe that consumers aren't as savvy as as we are, or a lot of us are, and they just think, hey, I'm just going to bombard the airwaves or online, or whatever platform they're using, and eventually we're going to just break it down, and the consumer will just say, I've heard about this before. Well, yeah, because they just spent millions of dollars, putting this in front of you. Let me eat it, and it tastes good. The ingredients are probably really not good for you, but it tastes good, so they'll think, oh, well, I'll eat this instead of a candy bar. I'm like, oh my gosh, why not just seriously, have a candy bar and then make smarter decisions the rest of the day, because what you're eating is really not good for you. And you're doing it
Yes, yes,
every
yes.
day, and it's going to have long-lasting effects on you.
Your protein bar was designed with strict nutritional standards. What made those criteria so important? I mean, why?
So many, it was in response to a lot of my clients. They would tell me, I'm a certified personal trainer and a nutrition coach, so I work with a lot of clients on both. We do other things as well, but for those two tenets, right? There's fitness and there's nutrition, and we're trying to put them together into a healthy, livable lifestyle. And so many of my clients would say, I don't have time to meal prep, Sharon. I don't have time to, whatever, 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 because they're either they're busy professionals running from meeting to meeting. And even if they do meal prep, they don't have time to eat the food that they brought, so they end up bringing it back home, and they go to the vending machine or through like a fast food restaurant for lunch. Or people are trying to fuel up properly before or after a workout, or they're taking their kids from one activity to the next, and they just don't have time to make food, so they're looking for alternatives. And in today's environment, that describes many people. Many people, we're on the go. We want something that's easy. We don't want to have to even take 5 minutes to make it. And
No.
so I wanted to give my clients a truly healthy alternative, instead of someone saying, hey, this is a nutrition bar. And then those of us who are in that space look at the ingredients and the macros and go, oh my gosh, seriously, eat a candy bar instead, and just the rest of the time eat better. It's my name, my brand. And I wanted to be able to say, this really is good for you.
Good, good. Now, as you shifted toward product-focused business model, what has become your biggest growth challenge?
Oh
Like,
my God.
is the challenge more about visibility, partnerships, or distribution?
Yes. No. What I found as I'm moving away from providing services, and or my services are all being online right now, that face-to-face time that I had with all my clients is gone.
Yeah.
So for me to reach, my difficulty stems initially from reaching more people. Once people try my, like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this a year ago? And I think, I don't know, why didn't you do this a year ago? I would have loved for you to have done this a year ago.
Yes. Yes.
Beyond that, it's also, so that's first, it's the reach. I need for my business to continue, I need to, or to grow, I need to reach more people. The next related struggle is I enjoy partnering with others to help them with their clients or their customers. It's a win-win for everyone. If there's a personal trainer or a gym or a chiropractor or a company who wants to provide products to their clients or their customers, I want them to think of me. I want to be part of that. And we have a relationship, we work out a deal, a partnership where their clients get a discount. They make a commission, the company or the person makes a commission, and I
Yes.
get to build my brand. So it's a win-win for everyone. So that's it. It's reaching people, either individuals or companies.
So what would be then the ideal growth partnership look like for your company today? Is
Someone,
work
someone,
with distributors or strategic partners accelerate your growth?
yeah, I think strategic partners would be a better fit for me right now. The discussions that I've had with distributors in the past, um, you know, I believe profit is a good word. Like I
Mhm.
like profit. Everyone likes profit. A fair profit though, like it needs to be fair. And my limited conversations with distributors are that they want too much of a profit and I would barely make anything. And I'm almost be paying them to carry my product. And the supply and demand that they could provide, I'm looking for something a little more consistent.
Yes.
I can't be everywhere at the same time trying to push my product in their store or their whatever. So strategic partners have been working well. Um, Most of the strategic partners to date have been smaller, so there's that more personal touch than a large distributor who's providing product across the country.
So Sharon, where do you see the catalyst for fitness 5 years from now? Is this large company, mid company? You want to be in a, what range? Do you see the company expanding its product line or focus on a flagship product?
Ideally, what I would like, and this could change, with one phone call or one relationship that I build, this could change. And I'm aware of that. And I've been in business long enough to not think that I don't need anyone's help or I can do this on my own. As a company, I'm mature enough to know that's not how it works.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
right now, what I see, what I hope for is that my company would be very strong on the product side and it would be building on the supplements that I have are strong. Matter of fact, I'm coming out with a new supplement. Well, I have it now. I'm officially announcing it in just a couple of days. So by the time this podcast airs, it will be out. But I'm still not giving the name yet, just in case. Anyway,
Sure.
but beyond that, it's the Catalyst bar. I already know the next flavor, even two flavors that I'm planning on coming out with based on product development. This could always change. But right now, I have it set up. I need more traction behind my Catalyst bar, my flagship bar, before I can roll that out.
So what advice would you give to someone trying to build a health and wellness brand today, like yours, for example?
I think there are two parts to it. One is once you establish your mission and your vision and your company plans and your business plan and all of that you should do with a business, be willing to revisit the decisions that you make as you gain more knowledge. I don't mean on a daily basis, maybe annually or quarterly or whatever ends up working for you. But if you don't grow, if you stay stagnant, you're going to lose. Like however you measure losing, whether it's dollars or clients or customers or market share, you're going to lose. You need to be able to take in more information and evaluate, hey, I should keep doing what I'm doing, or
Yes.
I need to make some changes. So that's one. The other part of it is be resilient. I'm not suggesting that someone be dumb. Financially, there's that line, like, can I continue doing this? But be resilient and don't don't listen to other people just because you think that they're successful in a certain way that maybe you're aspiring to be. You're probably a smart person if you're trying to do this, if you're going to succeed, or if you're even getting on the ground, like, you're smart enough. So don't just rely on someone else and make changes just because they said so.
Definitely.
Question it,
Yeah.
ask questions, push back.
Good. Well, Sharon, thank you for sharing your journey and insights um, into building a wellness and such a competitive market. I would say, I think our audience of entrepreneurs and health-conscious professionals will love this story and will learn something very important out of it. Thank you for joining
I,
us, the Blue Zone Brief.
Thank you very much. I hope this helps. I'm always um interested in learning from other people, so I hope I can pay it forward a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.